Oh, so excited, you guys. I got 79 videos on 79 views on one of my video and all kinds of comments. I just love it when my friends challenge me. It's awesome. It makes me just, I don't know. It's empowering. We can sit there and we can debate and we can get stronger and you guys can challenge me and I totally dig it. I just want to make sure as my little disclaimer that just because I do videos doesn't mean that I'm claiming any authority. It's just Tom's world. And I'd like to be in line. I'd like to be consistent, and I'd like to be in line with the true nature of history and what we face. And I know that there's a lot of you guys that are a lot more well studied than I am, and I really appreciate you for that. And I grow a tremendous amount. I think a lot of my growth has just come from being on Facebook and debating with people on issues without people calling me names. That's so common on the White House page. It's so weird. But anyway, I appreciate you guys for your comments. Al, you're awesome. I don't know what happened to Chuck Nielsen. Chuck, where are you? You were out there and you gave a bunch of questions and stuff, and I was all ready to answer them. And I drove all the way back from Preston today and wanted to take some time before I go out again tonight and to cover some of the issues. And I'm actually not going to plan them. I'm just going to do them ad lib just to see how they turn out. I can't even remember what Chuck was saying. I wish I should have copied them. But it was about enhanced interrogation, and I was talking about the fact that just the mere idea of using the word enhanced interrogation is just a political ploy by our government to be able to try to reduce the graphic nature of what it really is. When you do a lot of these things that are considered crimes to other people, they consider that torture. I mean, I think, when we were in wars with Vietnam and with the Chinese and all of those things, I mean, they did all kinds of techniques. Not that I was there, but the bamboo under the fingernails and the soaking them in the water. What was that movie, A Deer Hunter or whatever? I don't know if that's real or not, but I just remember that movie. I'm sure it was that kind of thing. But anyway. And to me, it was called torture. The idea that we would consider enhanced interrogation as an acceptable term and not use the word torture is interesting to me because I think I just thought maybe I'm just going to come over to your house with a baseball bat and I'm going to beat you with it. And then I'm just going to call it enhanced massage. I mean, doesn't that sound good? Really? Oh, and then Chuck said that I fell into the left, the paradigm of the left because I had actually... I don't know. I just still view it as torture anyway. It is. The other thing too is if according to biblical law and common law and our Constitution and all of those things, causing physical harm to somebody else is by all rights considered a crime. So if it's considered a crime and it's something that we shouldn't do to ourselves or we would be punished by the government that we created to be able to preserve the liberty of other people, why would we give that authority to government to do for us? And is there a possibility that our long-standing army that our founding fathers warned us about could be used against us? We know through history, every time totalitarians have ever gotten into control, that they've always used standing armies to be used against their people. We have a growing paramilitary force, our law enforcement, to many degree, not even to their fault, just what they're learning at post, has no concept of any limitations placed upon them by our rule of law. And you still want, and this is still an issue on whether we should accept it or not. Let's forget about the motivations for a minute on what the federal government is doing to other nations. Where's the declaration of war? Our Constitution was written... Okay. I could be wrong here, but help me out. Our Constitution was supposed to be written to limit government to few and defined powers, to make it to where they didn't have boundless power. And if they had boundless power and they could exceed those limitations, our founders knew that we would find our way back to despotism. Fresh in their minds on what happened when they left Great Britain, what did they want to do? They wanted to prevent another dictatorship or a monarchy or rule of by the king. So what do? Oh, we're patriots. We believe in war and we believe that we should be able to do anything we want to be able to protect the American people. Really? How does that work? What makes us so much different than everybody else? Communist Chinese, are they bad because they're communist? Or do they have the same problem we do, where they have a communist government that has got the back of the heel on their neck? So you mean to tell me everybody that's communist is somehow a horrible person and deserves to be tortured? They're political pawns like we are for our government. Our governments have always done this thing. If they don't have an enemy, what do? They create one. And then they create an enemy. And then what happens is if that one particular person that the government chose doesn't do what they're supposed to do, they create an enemy to fight them. And what do? They completely obliterate their government, and the American government goes in and instills a brand new form of government that really isn't much better than the one they had before. Meanwhile, the global bankers are making money on both sides of the whole issue. What's so hard about that to understand? So Chuck Nielsen, if you're listening, I stick to the fact that torture is torture, the fact that that harming other people is a crime, and the fact that we don't have the authority to be able to do it to our fellow brothers and sisters, and we certainly wouldn't have any right to do it over people in foreign countries, because we were supposed to be a beacon of hope to all nations. We were supposed to lead by example. Oh yeah, so now we go into these foreign forms of government. We push democracy, which is something we shouldn't even want for ourselves. And then somebody says, oh, Al, you did it. Well, I'm going to get you, boy. Yeah. Anyway, it's going to take too long for me to go through this. Basically, he says torture reduced down to sleep deprivation and loud music with Metallica. I kind of like Metallica. But anyway, it's much more than that, I believe, Al. And then he said, put a scenario. My family's been kidnapped. I have an hour. What am I going to do? Well, you know what? I'm going to pray like hell. And I'm going to hope that things work out to my best benefit. What am I going to do, Al? Am I just going to go start hurting people just because my family has been abducted? I mean, that doesn't even seem reasonable. And maybe I should write down some thoughts and do another video to answer all of these questions, because he really wants me to answer them, and I really want to answer them. I'm kind of excited, Al. You challenged me, and I'm ready to take it. But anyway, and then he says the Second Amendment, there's something to ponder. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do another video on that. I know videos, I didn't really expect that people were watching them. But Chuck Nielsen, you need to put your comments back, because I want to get to them all. Because if I'm wrong, you called me a hypocrite, dude. And you said that you said I'm hypocritical sometimes. If I'm hypocritical at any point in time, any of you, call me on the carpet, man. Don't wait 3 months to do it. By then, I've already created a whole train wreck of stuff that isn't accurate, and that ain't right. My point is to try to, not to be right for the sake of being right, but just to be able to provide an alternate perspective that may not have been considered before. I don't consider myself a genius by any stretch. I'm sure as hell you guys don't view me that way either. We're just all in this together. And I think debate is good. And I welcome everything that you guys do for me. I thank God for all of you. And you mean more to me than you'll ever know. So if you have questions you want me to address, I'll do them in video form, because I don't type very well. My sentence structure is horrible. I don't even know what syntax is. And God love you. I love you. Idaho. See you later. Bye.